Hey, so I wanted to hop on here and troubleshoot an A2P issue. One of my partners came into this account and tried to register A2P and they failed. I have to record this for him anyway, so I figured I'd take you along for the ride live and show you how I troubleshoot A2P validation. I know for a lot of people this can be a huge headache. It certainly has been for us in the past. I'm more experienced than he is submitting this stuff, so this is actually his first time submitting it. And we're going to just hop in and see what he did wrong here. For those of you who don't know what A2P 10DLC verification is, it is the regulatorial process that's required for anybody in the United States to send text messages using a phone number in GoHighLevel. So it's kind of a huge pain, but it's a necessary evil. So I'm here in the sub account, and what I'm going to go here and do is try to look for the reason why it failed. Typically you can find that reason here in the trust center. You see it failed there. And if we look at rejection reason, looks like the message flow campaign submission has been reviewed and rejected because the provided opt-in information, and the campaign submission has been reviewed and rejected because a compliant privacy policy cannot be verified. So this is common. If you have a funnel that you're submitting that doesn't necessarily have the right privacy policy or the right terms and conditions, or the form isn't formatted a certain way, then it'll get rejected. And so I think in this case what happened was maybe my partner used the wrong form or the wrong funnel or a combination of both. And so I'm going to come in here and try to fix that. Now for my A2P 10DLC stuff, I use a consistent funnel, I use a consistent form, and I use a consistent privacy policy and terms and conditions. I'll link to all those resources below. It might be like an email link where you drop your email and I send you all the resources, or I might just put them down there depending on how much there is. Sometimes it's just easier to put it all in a Google Doc and send it to you via email. So yeah, let's go hop in here and see what he did. So if I come back to manage numbers, I'm going to go ahead and actually duplicate this tab. So we're working on two tabs. Gets kind of frustrating to go back and forth. So let's come in here and I'm going to click start now so that I can start this registration one more time. And let's see what we did here. So he did go ahead and okay, I see what he did here. He used a the actual website for the client, and this may be blurred out, in post-processing if we want to be, respective of the client's privacy, but this is a common issue. Most businesses, if you're serving small businesses, whether it be service-based, in this case we're serving a tattoo shop, maybe they have a form on their website, but their form isn't necessarily A2P 10DLC compliant. And so I never use their actual website for this stuff. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to replace this website with a funnel that I know works. And so I'm going to make sure that funnel is actually there. So I'm dropping back into the new tab. Let's go to sites. And it looks like the A2P 10DLC compliant opt-in, that's not the right one. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that funnel. And in here, I'm going to deploy from a template that I have available in the LeadBrain library, but I could share this template with you. I actually just got this template from, I believe it was Extendly. They offer a free A2P 10DLC template. It's great. I recommend you go get it. But if not, I'll share the link with this, with the one that I have in my template library below. So here we go. We've got this A2P general funnel, and I'm going to go ahead and deploy this. Should just take a moment. Now that funnel has a form that's integrated into it. I'm going to have to do the same thing for the forms. I'm going to have to deploy a form or create a new form. In my case, I already have this saved as a template. I don't think I can share the form with you guys, and I don't have a snapshot of my own, and I don't want to re-gift Extendly Snapshot. If you like Extendly Snapshot, I'm pretty sure they're still giving it away for free. You can go check it out. But the form's pretty simple to make, so we'll go ahead and create it, and then I'll show you what it consists of. So if you want to create it from scratch, you can. I'm going to deploy from a template, my templates, and it looks like I have a general opt-in, and deploy it. So that's the form that's going to go in the A2P compliant funnel. I'll pop it open real quick so you can see what it consists of, and I'll sort of highlight the important parts here. I see that there is another form in here that's named similarly and probably not being used, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that once this is finished processing. A2P is one of those things that can just be extremely frustrating, and HighLevel's gotten better about processing these. There was a point in time where they would actually take 10 business days to get processed. That's the longest one I've had, which is a really long time. But there's also an update that they just pushed saying that we're getting expedited, and all these should be processed within 3 days. So I'm excited for that. All right, so it looks like it did deploy. Let me delete this extra one here, and then I'll pop right into this form to show you. So it's a really simple form. Now keep in mind that this isn't going to be used operationally for the business. This is only used for A2P 10DLC compliance and getting approved. This funnel literally will never be used for anything else, so don't worry about customizing this with anything else. Leave it as is. If you're creating it from scratch, first name, last name, email, phone number, and then what's really important is that you have these terms and conditions right here. You have a link to terms and conditions in the privacy policy, and then also looks like they included, and they being externally included, an additional link with consent to text message and consent to call, message and data rates, all that stuff. So this is all just for compliance issues. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but if you're running a funnel and you don't have this on there, you may or may not be compliant. I'm not sure. I just know that I don't use this exact form for operational stuff. So there's a few things that I'm going to copy here. Normally the snapshot comes with these custom values, but in this one, we're kind of piecemealing this together, and I think it's good for you to see. So I'm going to open up a Google Doc here, and I'm going to copy some custom values that we're going to have to end up creating. So let's go ahead. Matter of fact, we can copy this whole thing. It'll be fine. Inside of terms and conditions, there's probably a custom value, which there is right there. And the reason I'm copying these is because I'm going to create these custom values in this account so that these fields automatically get filled out. Now, if you're smart and organized, like you could see I'm not, you would integrate this into your standard snapshot. So whenever you create a new sub account, you have these custom values created, this form is already created, and the funnel is already created, so that all you have to do is provision the new account, fill out the custom values, and then your A2P 10DLC funnel is set, and you attach a domain and submit your A2P application. So we didn't do that here. I don't really have a great snapshot for our tattoo shops right now. I do for our contractors, but not for our tattoo shops. That's going to change here shortly. And so, all right, cool. Let's come back in here and let's click back. Let's go into settings and let's create these custom values. So first custom value we need to create is business short name. And for this, I'm going to put in the business name. I believe that's what it is. And then we are going to create web URL terms and conditions. That's the second one. I'm going to leave that blank for right now because I still need to attach a domain to my funnel, and then I'll get the link for that and fill that out here shortly. And the last one I need to submit or create is web URL privacy policy. Make sure it's spelled correctly. Now, all I want to do here is make sure that these values sort of match. So web URL privacy policy, if you come here, paste it right under, everything should look the same. Let's see, web URL privacy policy. And it looks like it's not the same. So this has an extra space in it. That's fine. What we'll do is we'll actually just, no, actually that's not fine. Because I believe that in the funnel, it's actually referenced this way. So that's kind of frustrating that they made it that way. There's an extra space. So no big deal. What we're going to do is come in here and we are going to delete these custom values and recreate it the right way. This is the joys of doing this live. Hopefully you get some value out of it. And let's go ahead and create web URL. Looks like it was 2 spaces, terms and conditions. Let me just double check before we do this twice. So web URL, terms and conditions. Great. And then we have web URL with 2 spaces, privacy policy. Really strange that they created it that way. Maybe it was just a typo, who knows. It's creating a period. Hopefully I didn't create that in the terms and conditions one. All right, so let's see if that looks better. Let's go ahead and compare the two, and still doesn't look the same. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead, and I don't wanna recreate these 5 or 6 times, so what I'm just gonna do is copy these here so that I have them for reference, and then we can modify the funnel as needed and the form as needed. So let's come in here. I'm gonna remove this so I don't get confused. We do have the business short name, which disappeared. So let me refresh. There you go, business short name. So we're gonna go ahead and copy that. And now we can come back into our form and make sure that all the custom values are set in our form. We're really only concerned with this one little checkbox section here. So this one's for terms and conditions. Let's go here and copy our terms and conditions custom value. And remember, we haven't set anything in there yet, but we will here after we connect our domain. And once we connect our domain, we're not gonna have to come back in here and update this because the custom value will be updated once we actually put that value in. So privacy policy, and then we have our business short name. And what we can do is just paste over that, and that should be it. Now, this right here looks like it created it as a link. You don't want that behavior, so let's go ahead and unlink that, break that link. There you go. I'm glad this is happening live because this is real deal what happens whenever you're setting stuff up in GoHighLevel. You just never know what you're going to get. Awesome. Now let's go back to the funnels. So come up here, click funnels, and then let's go into the general opt-in funnel that we deployed. And first thing I'm going to do is let's go into the main page and edit here. So you see we have the business short name being used up here. Let's just make sure that we're using our custom value instead of this one. Formatting can be funny, although it's not super important. Sometimes my OCD gets the best of me. Come in here, make sure that the correct form is being selected. So I have the A2P general opt-in form that's selected, and then we want to come down here. There's another opportunity to put in our custom value, and if you click down here, you see you have links for terms and conditions and privacy policy. Let's make sure those links match the custom values that we created, and do the same for privacy policy. And we're going to test all this before we actually get it submitted. So go ahead and save. At this point, there's nothing to publish because we don't have a domain attached. Let's go ahead and review our privacy policy and our terms and conditions. Again, if I provide this to you, I am by no means a lawyer. This has not been reviewed by a lawyer. I'm not telling you to use this for any legal standings. This is simply just an instructional video showing you how you can get A2P 10 DLC approved. So terms and conditions look good. Privacy policy looks good. Cool. I think we're ready to attach the domain. So if we come back here, click on funnel settings, and let's attach our domain. Now, for domains, you see here I have a subdomain of one of our companies or our domains, which is leadbrain.co. So I tend to do this because sometimes the businesses have control over their domain, but sometimes their web developer has control over their domain, their main domain. And so to like ask for that permission and get loaded into, Squarespace or GoDaddy or Google Domains, whatever it is, and then modify their DNS records, it's just an extra step that, quite frankly, I don't want to take. And so just because this funnel is only being used for this application, I just create a subdomain for each and every one of my clients so that we can push this through approval. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll go ahead and attach this domain and click save. And then once I do that, I'm actually going to go in and test to make sure that like all these links work. So let's go ahead and pop this open. Sometimes it takes a little bit to actually publish. Looks like it attached right away, so that's good to go. So that is loading just like I want it to. Now let's make sure the links work on the page. So I'm going to open this in a new tab. And it looks like that link is not working the way I want it to work. So we'll troubleshoot that. Let's see what the privacy policy is doing. Same thing. Okay. And I know why that's happening, because we haven't actually set those custom values yet. So let's go ahead and do that and then try this again. So what we're going to do here is click on terms and conditions. We're going to copy this link up here, put it in our handy dandy notebook. And then we're going to do the same thing for the privacy policy. We're going to copy this link right here. And then let's go into our custom value settings and fill those in. So let's edit this custom value, and this is for the privacy policy. Paste that in there. And then we're going to do the same thing for terms and conditions. And we're going to paste that in there. Now, once this loads, we should be able to refresh this page and it should work. It might take a second. Sometimes it just takes a minute for all that stuff to get updated. Let's refresh that. And let's give it a second. While we're waiting, we'll just go in here and make sure that our form is all set. Just double checking. Cool. Privacy policy. Cool. All right. We'll come back in here and we'll pop open a new funnel preview. And let's see if these links are loaded. There you go. Terms and conditions are there. Privacy policy is there. Looks like it just took a second. And let's make sure the links at the bottom of the page work. Terms and conditions work. Privacy policy works. Awesome. So we have an A2P compliant funnel. Let's see if right now, in order to go here, I think we need to go to this info page, because if we go straight to the root of the domain, I don't know that anything would load. Let's see if we can fix that. Honestly, it doesn't even matter, but again, OCD gets the best of me. Typically, if I attach this domain for the first time, it'll ask me what funnel I want to link it to, and then it'll let me set the home page for the funnel. But let's see if we can figure that out here. So let's go into settings, and then let's go into domains. Where are you at? Domains. There you go. And then let's edit this. let's see, there you go, default page. We're gonna set it to the a general opt-in info page, and then we can leave the rest of it blank. So now if I just go to vctc.leadbrain.co, we should see the home page. So this is awesome because now I could just copy this. I'll put it in my handy dandy notebook just in case we need it, and we will come in here and edit our application. So essentially we're going to come in here, make sure everything looks good, and the biggest thing is here with A2P, I actually use these examples here, and I just put my information in there. So anywhere where there's, like, for example, let's copy this, we'll start from scratch here. I make sure wherever you see a company name, I change it to Velvet Crown Tattoo LLC, just like they have it in here. Now, let's see, company name, we'll just put that in there, and company name, we'll put that in there, and this looks good. Let's see, in here, I just copy the first example, paste it here, I make sure I copy the company name. I also change the name, like right here, Jane doesn't exist, so it's actually Josh. So we're gonna copy that name, yada yada yada. This is their phone number, so we'll go ahead and put their phone number in here. Great, and we can delete this up here. Actually, I'm not going to delete it just yet. I want to make sure I don't need any of those resources. So, looks like Velvet Crown Tattoo. And this is going to be Josh. Okay, and then here's an opportunity to put in our website. So we're going to come back into our handy dandy notebook and copy this website and just put our website in there. That looks good. Let's go ahead and clean this up, delete it, give it one last review, and click continue. Now we're gonna do the same thing here on this last page. We're just gonna copy the example, and we're gonna make sure that we use our funnel. And what else do we have here? So the phone number here looks different, so I'm gonna go ahead and let me look up that phone number in another tab here, so I don't have to go back. Copy phone number, great. All right, so here's the phone number. All right, we have that. That looks good. We can go ahead and delete that old message. We're going to copy this example. Notifications from this company. Okay. And we can go ahead and delete this example and acknowledge. And there we go. So we'll wait a few days and see if we get approved. I'm pretty sure that we will. We've done this same thing for all of our companies now, probably about 20 times over, and we typically have no issues getting it approved. So hopefully that's helpful. This video was meant to be a little bit messy, just as we go through and troubleshoot this live. So have a good day, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.